All of a sudden my 3-month-old Toastmaster TM-121CM coffee maker won't turn on. The blue light on the on/off switch is on but no activity. The dot inside the view screen next to the on/off is blinking when it should be steady. I put the auto brew on for 6 a.m., the on/off switch lit up but nothing ever came out. The pot was empty. So, my question is, how to get the dot to stop blinking?
What's the brand and model of your coffee maker? How old is it?
I just told you that.
How long has this been going on with your coffee maker? What have you tried so far?
I told you it happened suddenly this morning. We unplugged it. Tried to get it to reset but it keeps blinking.
Anything else we should know to help you best?
It's been cleaned regularly. It's not quite 3 months old and it's a Toastmaster 12-cup digital coffee maker mod. #TM-121CM. Help. Are you not already helping me?
Hi, my name is. I have been in the repair field for over 20 years. I will be glad to help you today. Would you still like help with this?
With what?
The question you posted on Just Answer.
How to get the blinking light back to steady on my Toastmaster coffee maker. Did you read all the info or don't you have any idea what's going on?
Yes. Have you tried unplugging it for a bit?
I've tried resetting it. I unplugged it for a few minutes and several hours. Nothing reasonable has worked.
After you unplugged it, you were still able to program the clock and delayed brew? It just would not brew? Does it brew if not using the delayed brew?
I made a pot the night before and then made a pot ready for the timer at 6 a.m. The on/off light was lit as usual but no coffee was in it. I noticed the black dot next to the on/off switch was now blinking. Can't get it to stop when you switch it on. Tried that. Nothing makes it brew.
Sorry, that didn't really answer my question though. You are still able to program the clock and delayed brew? It just will not brew? Does it brew if not using the delayed brew?
It's the stupid dot that is the problem. Something put it into a mode that's not addressed. You can program it, set the clock, set the timer and it turns the switch on but there's no current. It's electrically asleep for brewing.
I am just wondering if the clock has not been fully set. Will you go through the clock setting and be sure that PM or AM has been chosen?
I've done that several times hoping it is simple. The AM and PM are right. The clock acknowledges the timer, turns it on but it doesn't brew. One more time. The dot that lets you know if you've turned on the brewer or the 1 to 4 cup where the timer is always steady. Now it blinks. If I knew what changed it, I could fix it. I need to know what's made it start blinking.
When it blinks, that means that the delayed brew is set. Will you check that both the time and the delayed brew time is set to AM or PM? Is the delayed brew time setting different than the actual time? If you don't choose the delayed time fast enough, then it defaults the delayed setting time to the actual time, so it would be set for a delayed start but never start. You only have 5 seconds to enter the delayed start time, or it defaults to the actual time.
No. The delayed brew is indicted by a steady dot next to auto. There's nothing next to the on/off until the delayed time is reached. Then it is a steady black dot next to on/off. Now whether you turn it on or the timer does, you just get a blinking dot. The on/off is lit up like it's brewing, but it's not. No current is running through it to create the heat to pull the water up. Something happened to put it into an unknown mode. Or one we are not aware of. We have no manual.
Have you used the delayed brew before? I also have not gotten an answer to my inquiry of whether it brews when not using the delayed brew.
I did answer you. We have used it every AM for the last 2 months. And I told you it will not brew in or out of delayed mode. Or any other mode. That stupid dot has never blinked. It was off or it was steady.
Okay. Sorry, I understood that you had used it before but was not sure if it worked when it was on delayed brew. You also used it on delayed brew before? The light should be blinking when the delayed brew is set, not solid.
I've been very detailed about this, but you seem to be ignoring what pertinent info I've shared. When delayed brew is used, the only thing on is the black dot next to the auto. Nothing else is on. You don't seem to know this model. Nothing you've said is right.
I reviewed the information provided. You stated that you had brewed before but have not responded to whether this is the first time you used the delayed brew, only that it is not working now and the dot is blinking. I am sorry if I am not understanding the information provided. That is why I am asking for clarification. I have read the conversation over and there is not any mention of whether this is the first time you have used the delayed brew or not, or if you were using it before and now it does not work. The only thing I know is that it does not work now. I also know that the dot should blink when the delayed brew is set and solid when it is not. I also know that when programming the delayed brew, if you do not enter the time within 5 seconds, then it defaults the setting to the current time, so if the delayed brew is set for the current time, then it will never come on.
I told you I've used the delay timer every AM for a little more than 2 months. It works, but no setting will brew coffee. I don't get why you don't get it. There are no lights on my screen, just black dots. When using auto timer or not, it is lit on the actual on/off switch but will not brew. When the black dot started blinking on the screen next to the on/off button is when it stopped brewing. Till that time it had never blinked, it was steady when it was on. We cannot brew coffee in any setting. We've reset it a dozen times. We've tried pressing buttons while pressing other buttons, but we can't get it back to a steady dot no matter what we do. And that is the answer to our problem. How to turn it on and have it be steady instead of blinking. Look, we aren't getting anywhere and it's been almost 2 hours. I really don't think you have a clue as how to help with this. So, I'll contact them tomorrow. No slur on you. Thank you. Good night.
I have just read the entire thread again. I am sorry to say that is the first time you mentioned that the delayed brew has been used for the last 2 months. I was only trying to clarify that so I could rule out if it was a setting or not. I didn't want to recommend replacing any parts if that was not needed. The issue is the thermal fuse. It is not a terribly hard part to replace. You would have to take the top apart a bit to access it.
You asked me about using the delay and I said I'd used every day for 2 MNS. I reread this and see where Ed'd tell you. I didn't need to say it was the delay used for 2 MNS because it was in direct response to your question. Anyway, this isn't 3 months old. And where do you get the part? I'd need a schematic.
I don't have access to a schematic. You would have to contact the manufacturer for that and replacement parts.
There's the problem. I can't contact them. I've tried to get help info for them and the internet can't come up with any contact info whatsoever. You'd think that would be a simple process. I wouldn't have got in touch with you if I could reach them. Anyway, it's 11 p.m. and I'm going to bed. Good night.
Considering the age, maybe it would just be as simple to return it to the store you bought it from and get it exchanged.
I intend on doing that. I can't find the receipt for it. Oh, well. Still going to try. Good night.
For sure the receipt will not be needed if you used a card. They won't give the money back, but certainly they will exchange it. That machine should at least last 3 years, not 3 months. I am very sorry for the misunderstanding. I really wanted to tell you it was just the setting and have it working tomorrow morning. I might have a nightmare tonight about waking up without coffee.
Ain't that the truth? Sleep well.
Thank you. Good night.
Will do.
Thank you.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/YTHI.